Welcome to the 7 Minutes of Heaven, the Bible study podcast where we dive into God's Word and find refreshment for our souls. I am your host, Mercy, and I'm so excited to have you here today. If this is your first time joining us, a big welcome to you. This is your new home for impactful Bible study sessions. And to my regular listeners, you already know it's always a blessing to have you back. Now, let me tell you why today's episode is so special. It premieres just 2 days before 2025, which makes it the perfect time to reflect and prepare for the new year. The theme today is Dominion, created to reign. We will explore what it truly means to be made in the image of God and the incredible authority and responsibility He has entrusted to us. By the end of our study, I pray you will gain fresh understanding of your God-given identity, purpose, and calling, perfectly timed to walk into 2025 with clarity and confidence in God's plan. Let's get started by setting the scene. Genesis chapter 2 verse 5 to 6 gives us a glimpse of what the earth state was before mankind. The earth was incomplete. There was no vegetation because there was no rain and no one to cultivate the land. Genesis chapter 1 gives us the big picture, the grand narrative of creation in 6 days, culminating in the creation of mankind as the climax. For 5 days, God prepared the earth but awaited human hands to nurture it. In the first account, that is Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 to 28, then God said, "Let us make man in our own image, according to our likeness, and let them have complete authority over everything on earth." In the image and likeness of God, male and female, He created them. And He said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth, and subjugate it, and rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air and every living thing that moves upon the earth." The language here is so beautiful and powerful. Genesis chapter 1 verse 28 lays out humanity's mission. This was not a singular command to Adam, but to both Adam and Eve. So let's break this down further. The command, "be fruitful," is both a blessing and a divine mandate that reflects God's purpose for humanity. God equipped humanity with the ability to thrive, create, and multiply in every sense of the word. At its core, being fruitful is a call for humanity to procreate and fill the earth. Fruitfulness is also about living a life that points others to God, leaving a lasting spiritual impact on the world around us. So let's talk about subduing the earth. This command invites us to explore, cultivate, and develop the earth responsibly. God created the earth rich with resources, and we are all called to use them wisely for His glory. This means bringing order to chaos. The earth was good, but it wasn't fully tamed. God gave humanity the task of organizing and shaping it. Let's talk about dominion. Dominion means the authority to oversee and govern. God entrusted us to take charge, make decisions, and lead, not just for personal gains, but for the well-being of all the creation. It speaks to the unique role God has given humans as stewards and rulers over His creation. Though the term dominion, rule, and reign are often used interchangeably in the Bible, they carry distinct meanings and nuances in the Bible. Dominion refers to authority or power to govern and manage. It emphasizes stewardship and responsibility over something entrusted to us. Dominion is less about control and more about responsibility. It's a call to oversee the creation with care and the love of a servant leader. The key characteristics of this trait are stewardship, which means managing the earth's resources responsibly; accountability, answering to God for how creation is cared for and reflecting on God's image. To rule refers to the act of governing or directing with authority. It implies leadership, decision making, and the ability to set boundaries and laws. Rule often describes humanity's ability to make decisions over the created world. The key characteristics are leadership, which involves providing direction and structure; decision making, which involves setting boundaries and making choices to promote order; and subjugation, which brings things under control to function properly. Reign refers to the exercise of sovereign power and kingship. It is often used in the context of a king or a ruler who governs with authority over a kingdom or domain. The key characteristics are sovereignty. This means governing with supreme authority under God's will. Glory, reigning in a way that brings honor and reflects God's majesty. And partnership with God. The central lesson of the story of creation is that we are created in God's image to reflect His character and represent His authority and fulfill His purpose on earth. When we observe the impact, imagine the awe Adam and Eve must have felt when they stood in the garden, realizing that they were uniquely made to reflect God. Unlike animals, they could think, reason, and communicate with their Creator. They had purpose, dignity, and authority. What does creation reveal about God? This highlights God's character as relational. He is intentional. Humanity wasn't an afterthought. God planned and designed us with care and purpose. And God is generous. He didn't just create Adam and Eve, He blessed them abundantly and entrusted them with the stewardship of His creation. Now, let's bring this closer home. How do we relate this to our lives? Have you ever stopped to consider that you're made in God's image? And how are you stewarding what God has entrusted you with? This includes your time, your talent, and resources. Are you using them to glorify Him and bless others? Reflecting on creation of man, we are challenged to yield to God's design for our lives. Remind yourself daily that you're made in God's image. Ask God to show you areas where you can improve. It could be managing your finances better or caring for the environment. Living a life of dominion isn't just surviving, but thriving in the purpose and power that God has designed you for. As we wrap up today's study, I want to leave you with this encouragement. You were created in the image of God with a purpose. We have been given the power and authority to dominate, to reign, and to rule over the earth. God has equipped you with a mind to think, a will to choose, and a heart to love and worship Him. You have been given permission by God to live your life with intentionality, safeguarding your heart from anything that could derail your destiny. God has equipped you to step into the purpose He designed you for. It is your responsibility to protect that purpose. Next Monday, we will be exploring the blueprint for love, God's design for marriage. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. If you have been inspired by today's episode, make sure to subscribe to the 7 Minutes of Heaven and share it with friends who seek a deeper relationship with God. New episodes drop every Monday at 7 a.m. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, keep your hearts guarded and your faith strong.